In this video, we're going to discuss the difference between socialism, capitalism, and communism. And one word, one expression to understand all of them is means of production. Means of production refer to the factories, big businesses, the big banks, resources, everything we work with and transform them into food and clothing and shelter. The question is, who should own and control them? Capitalism says the means of production should be owned and controlled privately, not by the government. So the difference between capitalism and socialism is this. Socialism says the means of production should be owned and controlled collectively, commonly, by everyone, but often through the government itself. The key idea of socialism is this: the wealth of society should be shared by everyone, not just by a few people. And the way to do that is for everybody to own and control collectively the means of production, but this will be done by the government itself. So socialism doesn't say the government is going to micromanage everything. The government is going to tell you what to do every day with everything you have. It's simply the means of production should be owned commonly, collectively by everyone. And one more difference is that in capitalism, we produce to make a profit. In socialism, working production is for need and use. That is, we shouldn't be working because we want to make some more money. We should working because of need, because of use. This is why Karl Marx famously said, "From each according to his abilities, and to each according to his needs." That is, people should have jobs that match their talents. And in capitalism, uh, you can't have, sorry, in socialism, you can't have somebody with billions of dollars and then some people with no money. Because again, the wealth of society should be spread, everybody should share in the wealth. We already have socialism in this country. Scandinavian countries like Denmark and Norway and Sweden, they combine capitalism and socialism. For example, if you lose your job, you apply for unemployment benefits, this is socialism. Public management of education, this is socialism. Medicare, Medicaid, this is socialism. They're funded by taxpayer money. Police departments, fire department, notice also they're funded by taxpayer money. So this is socialism. Except we don't really have full-blown socialism. What Bernie Sanders, for example, wanted to do, he wanted us to have universal healthcare, also for everybody to have access to a college education. So the same way taxpayer money is used for Medicare, Medicaid, law enforcement, so taxpayer money should be used also for healthcare and for a college education. So sometimes people think socialism means you're just gonna get free stuff. It's not true. If you want to have universal healthcare, if you want everybody to have access to a college education, one price we would pay is that everybody would have to pay slightly more in taxes. In fact, in the past, in this country, billionaires and millionaires used to pay way, way more in taxes. So, since it's your tax money, it's not really free healthcare, it's not really free education. It's you asking the government to spend your own tax money in your health. Now, one reason people often reject socialism is because they think it can only work through force and coercion. The government has to force people to do certain things. Number two, they think socialism makes people lazy. You're just gonna sit home and receive a paycheck from the government. It's not quite true. They also think socialism gives no incentive, no benefit for people to work hard. In capitalism, since you work to make a profit, then you just want to work and work and work. You don't mind doing overtime. That's more money for you. But in socialism, if everybody has roughly the same amount of money, um, why, what is it that would motivate people to work harder? See. Number three, some people think it's not fair because some people are lazy and some people work hard. Let's say every day when I wake up, I go by the beach and just surf, have fun. Every night I go by the club and dance and drink. Let's say you, every day you wake up, you go to school. Suppose you spend 5, 6, 10 years in school and now you are a doctor. But since I was having fun, but you were working hard, should the two of us roughly have the exact same amount of money? So this is why people say socialism will work if only the government force people, because it seems to be unfair if you, the doctor, you just work and work and work and work. But me, I was simply clubbing, and surfing. And now all of us are receiving a paycheck from the government, roughly the same size. Karl Marx saw socialism as a step toward communism. So here's the difference between socialism and communism. In socialism, the means of production are private, sorry, or commonly owned, collectively owned by everyone. In communism, the means of production are controlled, but they're owned by the government. So the people don't own anything. The government owns everything. So this is why in communism, there's no private property. And the goal of communism is to have a society that is classless, moneyless, because everybody is equal and everybody receives something from the state, and the state controls and owns everything. To be fair, there's never been a communist country in the world. Never. Venezuela, China, even the old Soviet Union was a communism because it's almost impossible for the government to own, control, manage, own everything. Right? So again, capitalism, private ownership of the means of production, and socialism, public and collective ownership of the means of production, and in communism, the means of production are owned by the government itself. There's no private property. The goal is a society in which there's no class. One problem also with socialism and communism is that some say it gives the government too much power. It almost makes the government look like a savior, like the big daddy, the big guy in the sky. It's almost as if the government is your messiah, is your God. You depend on the government. And this is dangerous because in our society, usually the individual is the basis of society. Usually, often big discoveries are made by individuals, not by groups of people. See? So, in case on social media, Facebook, you get confused about this, it is simple. Capitalism, private ownership of the means of production. Socialism, public and collective ownership of the means of production. And communism, the government owns and controls the means of production. Even private properties, they're not really private because the government owns literally every single thing. Right? Thank you for watching.